Sit your little ass down, we're gonna make a glaze together. So I reckon you are kind of having the problem that I've been having throughout my entire life, is where potters not only don't want to share their own glazes, but they also won't put them online once they don't want to share them because they don't want to share them. But what I did at some point is I have an entire book, and most potters actually have this themselves who make their own glazes, an entire book of my own glazes that I've made and modified myself. And if you're like me, you most likely started off copying other people's glazes, and then sooner or later you learn the chemistry, and then you start making your own glaze from that. But it is a miracle when someone comes along and says, hey look, here's a glaze, try it, test it out, it works for me, I hope it works for you. And most likely when they do that, it's because they had such a hard time finding their own glaze that they're willing to send the ladder back down to you. Luckily for you, you're part of this YouTube channel, so I'm gonna fucking do that for you. In the last episode, we re-glazed this plate. Huh? You remember that? But, and unless you listened really carefully to that video, what you don't know is that this glaze, firstly, is a Shino, but it's not a real Shino. It's technically called fake Shino, for reasons that I explain in other videos. Somebody gave me that glaze, actually, and when someone gave me that glaze, I decided I need to test the base. So usually when you test a glaze, you need to test the base, and then you need to test the colorants. And usually what you do is you make the glaze without the colorants, and then after that you just glaze a piece of pottery or a testile. I usually use testiles. You guys already know that I use like a brown testile and a white testile because I need to know how the base of the glaze works on the white testile and on the brown testile. And you guys already know that they're set this way and they're not horizontal, they're vertical to see the gravity of them or how they melt down. Basically, how much they're gonna drip off my damn piece. What I did is when I made this, I tested the base and tested the fake Shino colorants, you know, which is essentially red iron oxide. It's like 8% red iron oxide or something like that. It turns out that I hate the glaze and I love the base because the base comes out very luminescent. Today we're gonna make that glaze, and technically speaking, I call this glaze Lumos because no one ever labeled it as a base, none that I can find anyway. So for a while we called it Dante's Lumos because nobody wants to use this glaze as a base for some reason. But I tested it, it turns out to be food safe, it doesn't pit, it doesn't crack. Technically red iron oxide is a bit of a flux, but I find that it works fine in cone 6 especially. Unfortunately for me, I actually don't have an extra bucket to put the glaze in, so I'm just gonna put it in like a mayo jar and see what's up. For your oxides, or what most people refer to as their colorants, you're gonna need some tin oxide. I got this one from Alpha, which is a ceramic store in Sacramento or North Highlands, depending on how you look at the map. You're also gonna need some zinc oxide, right? And we're making a 40 batch, and I'm almost out of frit 3134, but I think, oh wait, Dante can't prepare. Yeah, that's right, I prepare my videos. I don't go freehand. I don't fuck around here. What I've been doing recently is source checking my own words, as you always should. Like the last episode I said that Shino was named after the town of Shino. I found that to be fake. Shino was technically named after the guy who is the one who told his apprentices to go and find a glaze. So the man's name was, it was Shino. The Japanese man's name from that town was named Shino something something. And the town soon became known as Shino, but the town wasn't named Shino at that time. So that guy technically, by ordering his apprentices around, is the one who told us. I put links down below in the last video so that people can actually find that source. And again, you have to check that guy's source too. There's tons of pottery legends that I'll get into on vlogs. Here's what you're gonna need for this, right? This is the base to fake Shino. I'm sure you can find this fake Shino somewhere like on Pinterest. Somebody made it. I give credit to that person, not myself. But I will say, I took all the fluxes out of your glaze and made a whole new glaze, so I call it whatever I want now. But this is technically not my glaze. I didn't make this glaze. I just modified this glaze to my own usages. Remember that the recipe I'm about to give you is percentage of grams per every 100 grams. Fucking motorcycles. Remember that the glaze I'm about to give you is a percentage of grams per every 100 grams. So if you're making a 100 gram batch and I tell you something is 35%, that means, you know, basic math, that you're essentially gonna put 35 grams of whatever I'm about to tell you in. Today we're gonna be making a 40 batch, which means 40 times 100. We're gonna use at least 4,000 grams. That's not including the oxide, because technically every single base is 100. Well, most bases are 100, and then the oxides or the colorants are the things that make the colors and special things happen are the things that you're gonna add afterwards. So this is technically like 111 or 111.6 of a gram batch, right? You're gonna need frit 3134 at 35 grams. You're gonna need silica at 24 grams. You're gonna need cornwallstone at 16.2 grams. You're going to need whiting, 7.8 grams. Edgar plastic kaolin, or EPK as I explained earlier, at 6 grams. And then your colorants come in, and they're not really colorants in this case. I will let you know though, sometimes this creates pink, and what we're going for right now is a very light pink, right? And that's what makes it kind of luminescent a little bit. It's very shiny. And I know on Texas white clay, it turns a little bit pink. You're gonna need zinc at 4.8 grams, and then you're going to need tin oxide at 6.6 grams. I have to let you know you need to sieve this glaze. The reason you need to sieve this glaze is specifically because, I can't remember whether it's your tin or your zinc, but usually those things are very gritty. You know what I mean? They don't like mold into water too well. You actually need to like mesh them down a little bit inside of a sieve. You should be sieving your glaze anyway, to be honest. So we're gonna make that real quick. Cool, man. I'll tell you what, guys. We barely made it. We're out of cornwallstone, and this is how much that I have left of cornwallstone. And to boot, we're actually pretty much full on this, so I have to put it in another container now. So just let it be known, if you're making like over 4,000 grams of a batch, probably shouldn't put it in a 1 gallon mayo thing because it won't fit. Although we are going to transfer this to a bucket later on. I just don't have a bucket now. But for right now, I gotta go and do a Periscope. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for the 400 plus subscribers I've been getting. You guys, it went up like 40 or 30 subscribers last time, so we just reached the 400 bar. Once we reach 500, we're gonna do a giveaway, and I'm gonna give away a piece of mine that I've made myself on this video. You have to like and subscribe and share the video, of course, in order for me to actually verify you. But I will be giving away another piece. Now that the channel is growing at a steady rate and getting proper views and whatnot, and you guys are sharing the videos and whatnot, I'm gonna give away another piece as a thank you to you guys. By the way, I want to take a quick second to give a giant shout out to Arrow Point Pottery. It's weird because I have a Patreon account, but I don't tell you guys about it very much because I feel like it's begging for money. But if you guys do want to support me and keep me in the studio, which costs about $100 a month, donating $5 a month to help my work really helps me out. By the way, I don't just take the money and then like dart. What I do is I take it, I give you guys prizes back, and at the moment there's only like 8 or 9 people, so I pick one of those people each and every month and I give them a piece of pottery. What's cool about this is that this time another potter actually decided to support me, which tells me that another potter likes my work, which is cool. That would be like another painter liking your work if you were a painter. It's like, wow. Part of the Patreon is I'm going to give you a shout out during the video. I'm going to put your name as a special interest thing. And you also get entered in every single month to get a pot from me, essentially, a piece of my artwork. If you don't know what Patreon is, I'll put a link down below because I don't want to talk too much about it. I really hope this helped you guys because when I was new, nobody gave me glaze recipes. Everybody just kind of figured like, go off on your own and learn on your own, you little bastard. And I did, and I was a little bastard. But then I met other people who were like, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to get this information. And there's a lot of potters who are just like, screw you, kid, go off on your own. So I spent a good 2 or 3 years learning how to make my own glaze, and I did a lot of mistakes. I'm here to help you so you don't have to make those same mistakes, but I'm going to tell you what happens when you do. And I have someone like that for myself named Richard Palladino, who I've already done a video on. You guys go in my videos and look for his name. He's there. He's an amazing crafter. I'm going to order one of his brushes one day. But he's actually the one who's teaching me about flocculants right now, and I need to do a video about that for sure. But I have things to do first, so I'm going to do that, and we're going to get back together, and we'll see you next week. I really hope this glaze recipe helped you. I'm going to put it in the description below along with all my links, and I'm going to put a little bit of extra information. Hopefully I can find this glaze one more time on Pinterest. Is where I found it the first time, and hopefully I can find the main source of this to the lady to give her credit. If I can't, I'm sorry. Hey, it's Future Dante. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters for giving me a little bit of money to keep me in the studio and let me buy these buckets. These buckets are extremely hard to find because there's 5-gallon buckets in the world everywhere at a place that rhymes with schmo schmeepo. But these took like 2 weeks to get. I just wanted one of these. These are 2-gallon buckets. They're not that hard to get, damn it. So past Dante mixed these two, right? So we're just gonna put these together now. By the way, before we mix these, any recipe that I give you guys, firstly, is up for you to test. If you ask me if it's food safe and I have my own paperwork, I have my own stuff, but I'm not going to give it to you. It's not my job to make sure your stuff is food safe unless I say it's food safe. I'm not going to say that anymore because you need to not be lazy and do your own shit. Oh, but Dante said it was food safe. Well, now Dante said don't be a lazy asshole. How about that? Any recipe I give you is going to be inside of this video from my mouth to the ear. But it's also going to be in the description below just in case I miss anything and I tell you anything. The last glaze recipe I gave you guys, the percentage of Kentucky ball clay or OM4 Kentucky ball clay, whatever you want to call it, was 25%, and I totally forgot to say that because the percentage before that was also 25%. So for some reason my brain just went like, oh, let's carry that on. So I said a chemical and then I said and ball, which my brain went like, okay, well they're both 25 then. But a lot of people pointed out like you forgot to put the amount of Kentucky ball clay in there. But to be fair, I said that it would be in the description below. So to like the 7 people who asked me what the percentage is, you should have just looked like literally 3 clicks down. Which tells me a lot about you guys. You know, some of you read the description, none of you do. Now whenever I whip up a glaze, I usually like to start off with hot water. I'll tell you right now that doesn't really matter. And I used to use purified water until I liked how differently it came out in different cities because, well, technically the water has a little bit of different chemicals in it. Yeah! problem is each and every time you go back and forth, I like to add a little bit of water to get the extra particulates out. So I'm gonna end this here before this gets a little too watery. I just wanna say thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this channel, please subscribe, and thank you, especially to my Patreon supporters. If you want to support me, I'll leave it down below, a link for you in the description, which you guys don't read.
If